Here we go. Let's get these questions from the DMs.
Yep.
All right, well, that's what I heard. So what do you want me to tell you? All right. Hello and welcome to That's What I Heard. My name is Lil Frex. We have Sebastian Canelli in the studio. We have producer Mike in the studio. We have intern Jeremy in the studio. Welcome, intern Jeremy.
Shout out.
We have a huge, this is a huge day on the show because we have our first ever guest on That's What I Heard, the podcast. Our first guest, he is a musician. He is a dog owner. He is a Democratic Party canvasser. He is a retired bartender and a fugitive in the town of Mamaroneck, New York. He is my father, Bruce Thomas Carroll.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Very special Father's Day episode. Thank you so much for joining us.
That warrant from Mamaroneck has been satisfied. I am no longer a fugitive, okay?
Okay.
And by the way, it was an unjust, it was a bad arrest.
Okay. I believe it. Don't worry about anything. I want you to feel at home here. You're among fans and friends. Now, we do have to get into some logistics. So we tape this podcast at 5 p.m. I told you that we taped this podcast at 4 p.m., knowing that you would be late. And you showed up at what time? 5:20 p.m.
5:30.
5:30 p.m. So I just want you to walk me through what happened there. Because just walk me through what happened. What was the thought process? What were you thinking? What was your considerations about what time to leave the house?
I was already 30 minutes late, right from the get-go.
Okay.
Now, I also had my cell phone was running low on batteries.
And you have no way to charge the phone in the car?
Well, it's funny because I plugged in a gift that you gave me for Christmas, one of those battery pack cell phones.
The phone charger,
Beautiful machine.
Yeah.
Didn't work. Okay.
Well,
Now,
your fault.
My fault?
So, yeah, I don't want to blame you, okay? I don't know how much you spent on that thing. So I'm looking at my phone. I'm looking at the directions. I'm looking at the time on it, and I'm watching the power, shift from green to like purple, clearly in the red. And I'm dying a little bit because I know I'm not going to have enough power on my cell phone.
So
to
you're
get here,
panicking or you're unbothered?
I'm sort of panicky in my own way.
Okay.
And of course, as I approach Lower Westchester, boom, phone dies, my GPS with it. So I don't know where I'm going. So I have to pull off and go to a pizzeria.
To get a slice of pizza. So this is stop number one. So he pulls over to get a slice of pizza. I want you to walk me through the whole thing about how you showed up at 5:30 for a 4 p.m. call.
Okay. 2 slices of pizza later.
So yeah, 2 slices of pizza. Now where'd you stop for the pizza?
It was in up there near Somers, a little bit above Somers.
Okay, was it good? I mean, what are we working with? Decent. Okay.
But it was cost me 15 minutes. So whatever, right there were 45 minutes. That's 45, right? 30 to start, 15 there. Back on the road, blah blah blah. Once again, I get back on with 11% power. I'm on the road, boom, boom, boom. Closer and closer. I see that if God willing, I'm still going to make it by 5:02. If I can just.
So then you text me and you say, shit, I'm not going to be there till 5. I said, no worries. We actually start at 5. Correct. I just told you 4 because I knew that you would be at least an hour late.
Correct.
And what did you say? You wrote bitch.
But it was a rhetorical bitch. It wasn't like
it was friendly.
I wasn't calling my daughter a bitch.
It was friendly. It was
a friendly
fire.
Right.
Okay, so back on the road.
So
then take me to the part where you get to Meeker Avenue and make your second stop at the weed store.
So after I talked to you, I remember you called me and I said, "Oh, I'll be there in like 10 minutes, but I got to go off the phone. My phone's going to die." And so you hung up, boom. As soon as you hung up, the phone died.
Wow.
So once again, I'm getting close, but I don't know where I am. So, but I do know that you're in Brooklyn. So I said, okay, I'll get on the BQE. Boom. I do know Meeker Street because that's one of the exits close to your home. So I said, I'll go there, which is what I did. Flew blindly.
And you did used to drive a yellow cab in New York City.
Oh, yeah.
So are you familiar with these streets due to your yellow cab days?
Yeah, sure. But not so much driving in Brooklyn back then.
People didn't really go to Williamsburg.
No, but I went to the boroughs when I had to.
Yeah, you had to get some Coke sometimes.
Well, no, that was not when I was driving a cab.
Oh, okay.
Where was the good Coke back in the day?
Yeah, where was the good Coke?
Jackson Heights.
Really?
There we go.
Or, you know,
What made Jackson Heights so good? What was
I
it?
live. Well, it's funny because do you want the whole history?
I just want to say that famously, one of the 6 a.m. mornings when I was a teenager and I was caught doing cocaine and we had to have a family reckoning, he said, "Give me the bag." And he takes the bag and he like it, and you go, "This is shitty coke."
Were you more disappointed in your daughter for doing coke
Yeah.
or doing shitty coke?
Probably the shitty coke.
Yeah.
No,
He was disgusted. And I go, "No, this is lazy shit. This is the best shit." He goes, "This is bad coke."
you don't know what good coke
That's
is.
right.
That's
It's
what I
probably
said.
true. I probably didn't.
Well, to be honest with you, you know, the whole cocaine industry went through so many changes, but I started, you know, my inexorable downslide in the late 70s,
Right.
and it was expensive. It was pretty good quality, but it was very expensive. The next time when I had my relapse after I had my children,
Yes, I
and
remember
had a
it well.
relapse. Well, I had one child and another child on the way. If you wanted the story of the birth of Little Frex, it's quite an
Yeah.
amazing story. But at that point, when I had my relapse, one of the reasons I relapsed is because the price of coke went ridiculously low and the quality went ridiculously high.
Really?
So anyway,
So it flooded, yeah.
It would have been stupid not to relapse.
Yeah, it would
Right.
be
What- it
stupid
was
not
really-
to.
It's
like going to
Buy
Costco.
low, sell high. He's like getting back into the market when it crashes. He goes, "I got it. I can't pass this up."
Right.
Your family would have
Yeah.
been disappointed if you didn't.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I would have been upset if I had had a more stable childhood. So
I'm
I'm
actually
glad.
got to call my father. He was. Why didn't he start
let me,
doing coke?
let me tell you one thing.
Jesus.
One thing I know for sure. Had you not gotten back into the market, I would never be sitting in this studio, this podcast studio right now.
You think?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No. You're
You go where
If had I not got-
where life takes you. Okay, so but let's just say you're 30 years sober.
32 in
32
November.
years sober,
in
so it's
November,
huge.
but pulling off at Meeker Street off the BQE
Mm.
to try to find a place to charge my phone.
Okay.
I go into this beautiful store right on Meeker Street, black facing, looks brand new inside, a lot of glass, a lot of beautiful product. It's a smoke shop.
Okay.
And the person in the counter was a delightful young woman who certainly let me, you know, use her phone charger
Yeah.
and told me all about the wares. And I said, well, I haven't gotten high in 32 years, but after this interview, if I don't blow it, I'll stop
Right.
off on my way back and pick up a gummy or two.
Really? Now let me
I
ask you, did
jest.
you get her number
Okay,
or not?
ladies, no.
Sounds like this leads to you getting her number.
No,
This sounds pretty hot.
Yeah, this sounds pretty cool.
But honestly,
She was a piece?
She was
She was a piece?
very attractive, but also I'm way too old. She
Okay.
was very young, but no, she's also just very nice, and that was the best part.
Okay.
And I said, you know,
She was very nice, and that was the best
if
part.
I was going to
Stopping off
relapse,
his second stop while we're sitting here waiting. He's at the smoke shop talking up some 22-year-old, some little hottie
Just
with a body.
try not to check out her boobs. Just talking. Don't let the phone charge.
guys,
We're good.
see, now you underestimate me. You know, I'm clearly not that scurrilous.
Okay.
However, it was very nice of her to let me use the charger. And here I am. So I got just enough power to get back on the phone with you, say I'll be there in so-and-so because I bought. And here I am.
So you made it. Can you imagine what it was like trying to get picked up from school by this guy? Well, it was always something. I'll tell
Wait.
you that much. It was always something.
Wait,
What?
what?
I said, imagine
you-
what it was like trying to get a ride home from school.
Did I miss a couple
It was
of rides?
always
Did I?
something.
Did I miss a couple
He was always
of
at the
rides?
smoke shop with the hottie with the body.
I really wasn't.
Talking to a hottie.
I wasn't that. I wasn't.
So how's the music going? Let's talk.
Oh, music is going great.
Yeah.
Thanks. Still trying to, writing songs,
Mm-hmm.
performing quite a bit.
Yeah.
Had a couple of gigs this last weekend. I have a couple coming up.
Okay.
Um,
Wait, so tell us about your journey with music.
my journey with music. I started, playing music. Well, first of all, I grew up in a musical family, or with a musical mom. I shouldn't say musical
Grand-mère?
family. She was very musical.
She played the recorder, bro.
No, she wasn't a player. She was a singer.
She hummed.
Okay.
She would
Okay.
hum and play the recorder.
Okay. Guess
She was not
what?
musical.
No, because she
She would
would
go,
play. She had a record player, and she played classical music all day. Some Baroque stuff, Vivaldi, Corelli. Symphonic music. No, she totally exposed me to music.
This is something
No.
I wanted to touch on. I think that our family, a theme in our family, is that nobody ever really does anything on purpose. Everyone just is kind of blowing in the wind, like, oh, I'll do a little music, I'll do a little coke.
Mm-hmm,
I'm sure you were like, oh, I'll become a father, and
No, I
oh,
was
I'll do music again, and
no with my mom, your grand-mère. She was totally about encouraging you to be creative. She, so she knew I had an appreciation of music, and she cultivated it when she could.
But did you ever make a real go at being a professional musician at a young age?
Well, yeah, sure. After I got out of college, which I probably shouldn't have gone to college. College was great for me. It was, but it was basically a free ride. I played music. I played music. Everybody played music back in the 70s. Everybody,
Right.
you know, but no, they played guitar, and the singer-songwriter thing was happening. And I put together a band. I started writing songs. I started playing at the uptown clubs because I lived uptown, and quite frankly, I wasn't as dedicated to my craft
As you were to Coke.
As I was to Coke,
Right.
to Coke, because otherwise I would have
wait.
lived in the East Village, and I would not have gotten a job driving a cab or tending bar, which is what I did to pay for my decent apartment on the Upper West Side, and pay for all that.
Right.
You know,
So do you
drugs,
think? So
everything.
do you think the addiction got in the way of like a serious pursuit of music?
Absolutely. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it did.
That's tough. That's tough.
Well, it's just a lesson, you know. But it's not. I could have also gotten waylaid by some other, endeavor, or
You have a great
pursuit.
vocabulary, sir.
Thank you. It's like
Well, so speaking of his vocabulary, so you grew up in Yonkers, New York, a brick city, but all of your music is about this, like the rivers, the prairies, the plains, the antelopes, the smokestacks. So what's the deal?
there's not one smokestack in any of my songs. Oh no, are there antelopes?
Like the
Did you
smoke
say
in the
antelope?
land. There's always a smoke in the land.
Oh, that's
smoke in the land.
Have you looked out your window today?
Yeah, okay.
Frets?
But other,
Okay.
yeah,
Is this-
you're right.
Say that.
Can't say
Here
it.
we are in the
Can't
middle
say
of an urban center, and the air is filled
No,
with
no, no. It's always like
smoke.
the prairies.
Well,
So
first
what's
of
the
all,
deal?
I've done an appreciable amount of time out in the country. I went to upstate New York where I went to school, and so anyway, I got it. You asked me, so I'll say where I got into playing in the clubs. Or blah blah blah. I started making records or recordings. I put together an incredible band with a lot of great musicians, all of whom are rich or famous now, except me. What?
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Now, to this day, I still write and record and perform on occasion.
When did you start wearing the Kangol backwards hats? At what age?
Who is this guy?
I just want to know at what age I could start being a hat guy.
Probably like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I got to check the
it
pictures.
was no, it was
I gotta
it was
check
more
the
than that.
pictures. Was it?
I'm gonna say it
No,
was
because I had the
5 to
derby.
10 years
I
ago.
had the
He had a
you know,
fedora for a while.
yeah,
I'm
the
not gonna lie to
fedora.
you.
well.
And we
see,
all
like
said we got- you
I
gotta get rid
prefer
of
the
it.
fedora to the Kangol, but other people have prevailed upon me to go with the Kangol instead of the fedora. I'm looking for another hat choice. If you want to suggest one,
Beret.
beret. How about a schmata, like a do, or whatever they call
I
those
like
things.
the beret.
Me too.
Beret.
Imagine.
All right. I'm not afraid to put on a yarmulke. Not
Well,
afraid.
as a bald man, I feel like it's a godsend.
That's another thing. The baldness.
When did the
Whoa,
baldness
be easy.
start?
We don't need to know about that, you know?
Baldness started when I was driving a cab. My first year in New York City after college, I got a job driving a cab. 1977, Son of Sam.
There we
Summer
go.
of Sam. A lot of shit went down.
Do you think it was one killer or multiple?
The blackout that summer also. Reggie hit 3 that year.
How long did that blackout last?
Oh boy, it was a couple of days. I was driving down. Actually, is the Second Avenue? I think Second Avenue goes down, right? I was driving down Second Avenue, down this big, gorgeous avenue, brightly lit, and all of a sudden, boom! The lights went out all the way down the avenue.
Wow.
City, and then I ended up getting a ferry up into the East Harlem, and there was a riot breaking out, and I started getting hit with bottles and stuff.
Oh wow.
So I pulled my cab off the road.
Was it your favorite job? What was your favorite?
Oh, it's the only job I've had that I would probably never have again because it was so dangerous. But
Got it.
I mean, even though it wasn't so dangerous that I stopped.
What was your favorite of all the gig jobs you did?
Boy, it's tough. I mean, good humor truck? No.
Yeah, he was a good humor truck man.
humor truck.
You were?
When I was a kid, we called you Daddy Desk Supplies because
Oh,
he
I
worked
worked-
at like
yeah.
a pen company.
Right.
Like
I was
selling
just
pens or
selling,
something?
There was selling desk, what are they called? Advertising specialties, they're called.
Yeah.
I also spent time after one of my 3 rehabs where I spent time selling fertilizer, bacteria, septic helper it was called.
Nice.
It was there was that, and I had other jobs. Oh,
Sounds fun. So bartending's probably the most fun.
Bartending's the most fun. It certainly, and it beat the automobile assembly line at General Motors where I did that.
Nice.
That was a nasty job too. No, but bartending was great. Bartending, and I've been tending bars since 1975 in Binghamton, New York. And it's fun, and obviously it was conducive to my lifestyle at the time.
Totally.
Not anymore, but.
There's a pounding in my head and it's 4 a.m. and I'm lying here wide awake. These things are mine, these things are mine. Something that you said sounded just like a warning, now my body's starting to shake. These things are mine, these things are mine. Living downtown in New York City, I feel nearer God to thee. Every step I take, I walk the line. Isn't it a shame, isn't it a pity, I spend every cent I make. Right now I got but one thing in time. I don't know how I got it, but I know it's mine.
All right, I want to play a game.
Oh, jeez.
Because like many men of your generation, you're absolutely obsessed with your New York City experiences of the 70s and 80s. So we're going to play, and you're also obsessed with all the run-ins with famous people that you've had over the years.
Oh, jeez.
I want you to read the 4 statements to the boys, and they are going to tell. It's three truths and 1 lie.
Okay.
3 of these things are true, 1 is not, and the boys have to decide which. Go ahead.
Okay. One of these statements is not correct.
Yeah.
What if it's partially correct? That goes for a no.
Just- I
Okay.
don't know.
Number 1, Mick Jagger once did coke off my girlfriend's leg.
Wow.
Number
That's gotta
2,
be true.
I once drove Larry David in my yellow cab. Number
Wonder
3,
if he complains.
Meatloaf was in my Central Park softball league. And 4, I bartended with Colin Quinn.
That's believable.
That's believable.
They're
I
all
guess
believable.
Larry David, I guess. I like who.
I'm gonna say, yeah, I think Larry David's false
Okay,
too.
That's
so
correct.
that is correct
That's
because
correct.
I
Larry
did
David,
not
that was
drive
not
Larry
true.
David in my yellow cab, but I played softball with him on a team called the Metzgers.
Wow. Okay. So you're out of your
And
mind.
he was pitching. No, it was 2 years before he got the show, before he got Seinfeld, and he was a pitcher, and I played third base, and I was his preferred third baseman.
So
as a
how
matter
would
of
you
fact.
even remember him if he wasn't famous?
Because
just
he
a
was
guy
a,
named
he was a
Larry?
comedian.
He was
and
funny.
He was a funny guy. He was a friend.
Okay.
And
Good
we
pitcher, right?
we also went to his house for team meetings.
Oh, wow.
And he lived in that building on 43rd Street and 10th Avenue. It's like an artist building. or
yes.
something. What's it called?
There's still artists that live there now, currently.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
And his apartment, so we had team meetings at his apartment. And across the hall from him was this guy whose name was
Kramer?
Kramer, yeah. The real Kramer.
Did you meet the real Kramer?
I did not. But we were talking. He would talk about Kramer.
Let's get to the coke off your girlfriend. How'd that happen?
Yeah.
This place called Trax in West 72nd Street. It's downstairs. It was owned by whatever. It was a big music industry club, and so I played there. Mick Jagger would hang out there. James Taylor, all sorts of big music stars would hang out. And one day, Mick Jagger was there, and he was friends with the owner. And they went back in the office, and of course, they took my girlfriend with them. They left
They
me out.
literally stole your
They
girl.
left me outside. No,
Wow.
I had to knock on the door. But anyway, and then she said later that she had corduroy pants on. And he was lined up coke in the lines of her corduroy pants. You might have to blip this for like libel reasons because Mick might not like hearing this out on the internet.
Now let me ask you. So
That he
so
did
the
coke
moment-
off corduroys?
Well,
think it's
corduroys
okay.
have
I think-
lines, so he lined up coke.
I think that's probably the most wholesome thing that's ever been said about him. Wait, no, but I want
Yeah, right.
to
That's
ask you
right.
this. I wanna-
Correct.
Can I get a goddamn word out?
Sure.
Thank you. So, what's the moment when Mick Jagger takes your girl and brings her to the back room, and you have to go knock on the door? What's
Right.
going through your head?
I'm thinking, you son of a bitch. I feel like kicking your ass.
Because you were mad, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
How
I
long
think
were
so.
you dating that girl at the time of this kidnapping?
Well, it was a while. No, that was like a tumultuous relationship.
So how long?
So that probably wasn't the worst thing that she ever did.
Was that the
atmosphere.
girlfriend before my mom?
No, that was like 3 girlfriends.
Where did you meet my mom?
She was hostessing at a restaurant in the Time Life building in Midtown, where I was tending bar.
What was it
was
called?
called the U.S. Steakhouse at the time. Then it became
Luchau's.
Cité. And no, Luchau's was downtown. She did work there, but
Oh.
that's not where I met her. I met her in Midtown, 51st Street. U.S. Steakhouse.
You were a womanizer a little bit when you were younger, huh?
I mean,
Younger.
I had to make up for lost time.
He just told us he pulled over on the BQE. I couldn't. I was making small talk with the weed girl.
As a matter of fact, I gotta go. I got a date with that girl at 6:30. I'm joking. Hold on, can I take this call? It's Dana. Can I just say? What?
Yeah, go ahead. Take the call.
Hey,
Jesus.
Dana. How are you? I'm currently on. I'm on Emma's podcast.
In a dream I followed you, and I spoke the words that I hope were true. Words I hope would make you see that, brother, you had nothing to prove to me. In a dream, well, I have no regrets. In a dream, one remembers and one forgets. In a dream.
I'm going back there not for the girl. I'm going back for the weed. Okay.
Would you
I'm
ever?
joking, by the way. For the, like,
Do you ever feel like, no, this is a serious question. Do you ever feel like you're gonna, like, you've reached an age or you will reach an age where you go, that's enough sobriety. We've made it through the years that matter. My children are raised.
Right.
What about
Well,
a weed gummy?
As you should know, it never goes away. It's a daily thing, and you have to keep it green, as they say, on a daily basis, because we only have today, Emma.
Okay.
And no, I think about it all the time.
Doing here? He's sending subs at me.
Excuse me, but
Yes.
a little program talk. If you guys want to jump in, go ahead.
Oh yeah.
I think about it every day. There's not a day goes by where I don't think about doing coke, where I don't remember acutely, how much I liked it. But then I also, force myself to remember how awful it became and how it's just not part of the picture anymore.
Right.
For me. So, but no, you got to be careful.
gotta
Do
be
I think
careful.
like if I was going to die in 2 months or so, would I?
Yeah, you wouldn't do
would I
coke, would
indulge?
you? Or would you?
Probably not, because it would just make me crazy.
Something lighter, maybe.
Yeah, maybe relaxing or something. Yeah, I don't.
A Xanax and a
Yeah,
blunt
a
and some.
Xanny and some
I
weed.
never
Some
done.
beer.
This
Yeah,
is my
a couple
problem.
of
I've never
beers.
done, even when I was doing drugs. I never did medication.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Tremendous.
I know, and I don't. I'm
Tremendous.
the only person I know, male or female, who doesn't do medication for depression or mood, whatever.
Well, maybe that's
I'm not-
something
I don't
we
wanna
could look into.
meddle.
Would you like a beta blocker right now?
No, but I'm saying everybody
I have
thinks
some
I
Lexapro
should.
in my bag.
No, I mean, certainly. I'm not. I don't. Like I said, I'm not looking for a medal. I'm just saying. I don't know why. I'm fine without it.
You
Nice.
seem very fine. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a break.
Northern Lights, Southern Levees, Western Mesa Flats. These things are mine. Now these things are mine. I've seen the sights, I've met the heavies, and I've worn many hats. These things are mine. Now these things are mine.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is so exciting. We have the world premiere of the latest Bruce T. Carroll song called Handful of Nickels.
The rivers and the prairies, the smoke in the land, bills on the table and the hope in your hand. Where the moss on the tree meets a stick on the ground. It's a wide open world, I'm just wandering around. A handful of nickels, a fox and a hound. A handful of nickels, a fox and a hound. And inside of me is a tiny refugee. Inside of me is a tiny refugee. Why can't you see? He's a tiny refugee. I got a handful of nickels. Handful of nickels.
God bless Wendy's, Pepsi, Nabisco, and the people of Ukraine.
Handful of nickels.
Or do you think I should say that it's me doing a parody?
No.
No, people.
Yeah, leave it.
People will know.
They'll
It's
figure-
obviously my voice.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right, everybody, welcome back. We still got Pops in the studio. Do you want to share anything about fatherhood? What a broad topic, I know, but anything come to mind? What does it mean to be a father? What are the pros and cons?
Trying to make it all work out. I mean, I think it's I'm looking forward to grandfatherhood. I don't know if you knew that. Did anybody?
I know you are. You'll get it. You have an unhealthy obsession with your dog who only has 3 legs and the eyes popping out of the socket. Now, do you think that the obsession, like he takes the dog everywhere, into CVS, into the restaurant? I'm really genuinely surprised you didn't bring the dog here, to be honest.
I would have.
Do you think you're obsessed with the dog as like a redo of fatherhood, or just like prepping for grandfatherhood, or what's with that?
I just have, I mean, as I get older, I get more heavily invested emotionally in other living creatures. I think it's because I'm approaching death. I don't know. What? No, I mean, it's like I love animals. Number one, the dog is delightful. Everybody likes.
All right, so back to fatherhood.
Yeah.
What does it all mean? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I'm dealing with the fact that your life is probably not as happy or good on certain levels as my life might have been. People of my generation. I don't think people these days, I don't want to get depressed. Let's change it. But the point is, you guys have a tough life. You're up against it. You're faced with a really uncertain future. It's sort of life on a world on a on a meta level would get better for humanity and for
right, and it's gotten worse.
Individuals and also for society and for this country. And clearly, a lot of things are getting worse. Am I depressing you?
You've just said a lot about the world, but what I asked you was, what the fuck does it mean to be a father, bitch? What are you talking about?
I wish.
What are you talking about?
This is what I think.
What does it mean to be a father?
It means it's a great thing. It's a.
He can't even get through it. He can't even get through it. I
just take it for granted, that it's that you understand. Everybody knows that it's the best thing going. And I can't think of a downside to fatherhood. I don't even think, I think, bringing your family through hard times is something that's great and survival. And I don't know what to say. What I'm saying is that for you, for my kids and for the younger generation, I wish you had it more. I wish your future was brighter.
We're back.
Okay, I'm done.
I'm
done. I
he
can't
literally
say anything
cannot
else.
make one coherent comment about fatherhood. He cannot string together one thought about being a father. This is your generation's curse.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
You're all
because
about
we
the
can't-
revolution, but not about your home.
No, because we grew up struggling against, forces, international forces and national
Here we
forces.
go.
What?
Here
That
we
were
go.
that gave us
Sliding.
meaning.
We're
The
sliding.
struggle gave us
What
meaning.
about meaning within
Now
your home,
we
within
don't-
your family?
Well,
Make
to
the
me-
world a better place. Make your home a better place. This is their generation's curse.
Okay. Agreed. But
Great.
But the idea that I think facing outside stresses brought families together. Okay, I'm inarticulate. I'm sorry.
No, you're not. You're very articulate.
You're very articulate, but just not about fatherhood.
No, but because you're not getting it. That's all. What I'm saying. Fathers need to inspire their children
To be
okay?
good to their daughters.
Good
so
to their-
bu-
good to their daughters.
Be good to your fathers.
So
is
it-
that what you're saying?
That's right.
Say
Sebastian
it
knows
again?
what that song is about.
What did I say?
All right. I'm going to just save you from yourself right now. I'm going to
Thank
tell you about fatherhood.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you my favorite story about you as a father.
Oh, Jesus.
It was the Queen's blackout.
I was thinking about that.
It was the
my
blackout
most heroic
of,
moment.
what was the year?
Would have been you?
big
2005, I
The
think.
New York City blackout of 2005. We all
Anybody
remember
remember
it?
Of course, yeah.
Of course, huge moment.
You were
So
how old?
that
15?
morning, I was
You tell the story. Go ahead.
15, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 15. So, well, actually, I don't know if that's true. Doesn't matter.
2005.
I was
It
an
had to have
age. How about this? I was an age. And I had gone to, the big thing at the time was getting your hair Japanese straightened. So you go to the Japanese hair salons and they would put like a chemical in your hair and then iron it out and then it would be permanently straight.
I remember.
but it was really expensive. It was like $800. So I found a spot in, where was it?
Queens,
Queens,
Jackson
but where?
Heights.
Flushing. In Flushing,
Right
it was
over
the Korean spot, and they did Japanese straightening for $200. So I went out there, and
You didn't just go out there. You
I
took the subway
train.
out
Yeah,
there.
I took the subway out there.
You took your own money. It was
Yes, I
something
took my
she
own
really
money.
wanted to do.
I took a pack of Newports, my own $200, and I took the 7 out to Flushing. And then, so what they do with this straightening process is they put this chemical in your hair that takes the bonds out of it or something. So your hair puffs up and gets all frizzy and it smells really bad
Smells really
before
the
they
chemicals
straighten
really
it.
Awful.
So I was at the phase where it was all smelly and frizzy. It was like a big fro. And then the lights go out, blackout.
Blackout. She's alone.
I'm
in
alone.
Queens at 15 in this Korean.
Yeah. And I don't think I don't know if anyone knew where I was going. Well, Mom must have.
I only knew because
Anyway, the point is, I was like, how am I going to get out of here? Because the cell phones went out. There was no cell phones. There was no trains. There was nothing. So I'm just smoking a cigarette with a cat at this salon. I'm just with my hair high as the sky. Like, well, we're fucked. And then about 2 or 3 hours, I was just kind of wandering around. And then 2 or 3 hours later, I just see my dad literally just pulls up on the sidewalk. Like, out of nowhere. He found me in fucking Queens.
Wow.
it was
great
my
dad
most
moment.
heroic act. Well, because you did, I believe, told me maybe the name of the place. No, but I had to drive from Westchester all the way down to Queens over
no
the bridge
traffic lights.
with no lights. Everyone was like insane. The traffic, it was bumper to bumper everywhere, and getting down to Queens and trying to find this place. Meanwhile, thinking she's in danger because the last blackout when I was in New York City, it was a little Manhattan. It was a little dangerous, and I'm thinking,
Right.
oh, the lights are out. She doesn't know where she is. She's not with anyone who can help her, and so I hightailed it down.
Yeah, and he showed up. He just pulled up like he was on a white horse. Saved the day.
Thanks, babe.
That was a great dad moment.
I love that.
It was my most heroic moment.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to close out the show with the segment called How Well Do You Know Your Daughter?
It was a shakedown, but love too often ends up that way. It was a shakedown, you just walked away.
It was like a party, not
Yeah.
like the one in '77. It was like a freaking.
All right, do you have your
It was a
questions
war
ready?
zone. What?
Do you have your questions ready?
I don't have a person. No.
You don't have questions? You said you did.
Well, I mean, I thought of them. Let's see.
How many do you have?
Well, they're not questions. I don't know if they're questions. I don't know.
Okay, just give me a straight answer. I can't with you right now.
I have to think.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Special Father's Day episode. We're going to close out this episode with a game called How Well Do You Know Your Daughter? So I'm going to ask you a series of questions about me, and then you're going to ask me a series of questions about you. And we'll see who gets the most points, okay?
Okay.
Question number 1. What is my name? Okay, here's the real first question. Where do I live?
Well, you live in Brooklyn.
But specifically, where do I live?
The street down which you live.
Just give me anything you know about where I might live.
You live upstairs. You live in a walk up.
She lives upstairs.
She lives in a walk up.
live
A
upstairs.
ramshackle. It's too far to walk up. I think you're on the 3rd floor.
Okay, that's
And I
specific.
think
That's
you're
good.
on in a street that it's manageable. It's not a. Oh no, that was your other house. So
Current Street, not manageable.
no,
Yeah.
it's nicer. The place you live now is nicer than your previous apartment. I don't know the address though, honestly. I'm not even sure of the street.
Do you know what part of town it's in? What's it called?
Is it Williamsburg? No.
Is it? You tell me.
Yeah, it's Williamsburg.
Okay, very good. I think that was pretty specific. I live on a third floor in Williamsburg.
Upstairs. Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
What do you want?
Upstairs in Williamsburg.
What do you want
That's
from
pretty.
a senile old
What
man?
more do you want?
Question number 2. Name 2 of my friends from any time of my life.
He stared at me and he's like, what's his name?
I would say you'd probably met about 20 of my friends over the course of my life, maybe more. I'm asking you, can you
easy.
name 2?
Kevin Murphy.
That's my brother.
It's not a brother. It's not,
That's my
it's
brother.
A stepbrother. That's not okay. Fine, but also your best
Did you
friend.
see what he just
before
tried
that.
to do?
Jackie Robbins. And Darcy, what's her name on the show?
Are you trying to say Darcy Carden?
Yes, Darcy Carden.
He's just like the famous girl who's on
No,
the
no,
show.
I was gonna say Megan from your youth. From I know all your friends.
Megan.
Remember her?
Oh yeah. Okay, that's good.
Megan
No,
Gallagher
I'll
and
accept
Jackie
Megan.
and Jackie Robbins.
Okay, I'll accept that. That's good. That's good.
Okay.
You
I love-
crushed.
No, that was good. You crushed.
2.
Because you said you did say my brother's name first, but that's okay.
Okay. We're gonna
That was
do it.
fun.
I mean,
No. Okay.
That was great.
You're right. He was my friend first. He's dual.
he's
Thank you for
dual
that.
identity.
Thank you for that.
A friend and a brother.
Okay. So I'm going to say that he's 2 for 2 so far. True or false? I have never been to Europe.
You went to the Far East. True, you've never been to Europe. Didn't you go to like Thailand or something?
No.
Okay, that was your brother. True, you've never been to Europe. True.
True?
Yeah.
It's false.
Okay, where were you?
I went to the south of France.
All right, I remember now.
On that little- on the
totally
whim.
remember.
Yeah.
I totally remember. By
Okay.
yourself. You
Yeah,
did the
I did
European
it by
journey by
myself.
yourself.
And I realized-
Crazy girl. It's like going to Queens to get your hair done. Okay.
And you know what
Very
I realized?
dangerous.
That,
Very
that
dangerous.
traveling by yourself kind of sucks. I would never travel by myself again.
Yeah, I did it myself. I know.
Stinks. All right.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to say, so you're 2 for 3. Next question.
Go ahead.
Name the college I graduated from and my major.
Marymount. Oh no.
Okay. Yeah,
What,
no, yeah,
Marymount?
correct.
And your major, I don't even think you had a major. Was it history? Right?
No, half right. It was communications, but you got Marymount very quickly. That was a very lucid moment. You're killing it. Okay. Final question. Final question.
Just this. You said 3 questions. You're asking me 5.
I know, but then all of a sudden I just want to keep going.
Okay.
This is good.
I'm
You're
doing
killing
so
it.
well.
Okay. What time of day was I born?
It's funny you mentioned because I was thinking about that on the way down. Do you know? Do you know when Mom went into labor? It was the middle of the night, and it was a snowstorm. You don't remember that,
I've heard.
right? And I was in the city, and I had to drive out to Westchester, and in the snowstorm, to get Mom and drive back into the city to St. Vincent's Hospital, where you went through a long and arduous labor, during which I passed out because.
Were you in the city getting high and drunk?
Yeah.
So you had to drive out. So you were
Correct.
getting banged up in the city,
Yeah.
drinking and coking.
Yeah.
So then Mom calls and goes, I'm in labor.
Right.
So it's in a snowstorm. So you are all banged up. You drive out,
I do.
pick up your pregnant wife, drive her back down
Correct.
to St. Vincent's in the West Village,
Yep. Yeah,
And then-
but I wasn't that.
and then take
I
a little
wasn't
nappy poo.
I wasn't in that in bad shape. It was
Oh,
I
okay.
was sleeping, but so and then a long labor went on at least 12 hours. Probably I think it was like 8 p.m. at night when you were born. It was around midnight.
Yeah, that's about right. I'll
Around
accept
8
that as an
p.m.
answer.
Okay.
It was like 7. It was like 6:54. So I'll accept that.
Okay. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a
Great.
very tough. She was not an easy birth. I'll tell you that now.
Well,
She was problematic. Okay.
There we go.
there
She
you
was
go.
a tough delivery.
No surprise to that. I'm
You're tough.
still tough. I'm a tough.
I know.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you have any? What's your favorite song that Lil Frex has done?
Song.
Yeah.
Oh, see that now you're gonna embarrass me because I don't know. I mean, the one I know most.
Don't make him
best,
say the titles of my songs. They're all dancing on the dick and I'd rather fuck your
Dancing
brother.
on the D is the one I know.
I knew that was
Well, because that's the one. Because all her other stuff after that was, a lot of it's really good, but I can't remember, the name or.
It didn't have catchy titles like that. That was the first one, and that was the catchiest title.
Did you show your friends? This is my daughter. Song.
Another
He
D.
actually
I
would. He
did.
worked in a restaurant. He showed all the guys in the kitchen. And then every time I would go in there, they'd be like, "Hey, little
Yeah.
Freckles, dancing on the dick."
All the,
and he's like, "This is my
Hispanics,
daughter." He goes, "This is
all
my
the
daughter."
Latinos in the kitchen loved Little Frex to this day. They still love him.
All
Excuse
right.
me.
Do you have questions to ask me? Or
Well,
should we
they're
should
not
we just end
really-
it here? Who cares?
Yeah, I
Who
can.
cares?
Okay,
Christ.
okay. What's the name of the first girl I ever kissed?
Okay.
Fanny
Why would
Levin.
wait, but hold on, back
I
up.
was 16.
Why
What?
would I know that I wasn't alive?
I know.
All
Well,
the whole point of
you
all
didn't
my
say-
questions
Yeah.
was to ascertain how involved and like with it you were during major moments of my life. You just asked me about something that happened when you were in
Yeah,
6th grade.
okay, but
Before
guess
I was
what?
born.
I nailed all those questions. And you,
I
if
thought
I
you were
asked
going
you
to say I
questions,
nailed all those girls.
if I was going to ask you questions,
Fanny.
okay. No, and the other one was what's the first? Since all I do is have political arguments all day and everywhere I go, and with whoever I encounter, I was wondering if you knew what the first political argument I had was, debate I ever had was.
Probably with your dad.
No, this was my scoutmaster.
Why would your dad?
okay.
What are you talking about? That's
My
so
scoutmaster in
crazy.
1965.
You're a bad daughter for not knowing this.
All right.
You're a bad daughter
All
for
right.
not knowing this.
If you
know who your
recall,
dad hooks up with.
You
if you
don't
recall,
understand the game.
oh, well, that's probably true.
All right. Do you want to plug your dates?
Hold on. I'm trying
Plug
to
your
think if
dates.
there's another question. You want me to ask you a question?
I don't think you understand. I don't think you
Cut this
understand the
off?
game. Happy
No.
Father's Day.
Hey, thanks.
So what do you want to do for Father's Day?
It doesn't matter. You'll be out of town. So
No,
it
I'm
doesn't
not.
matter.
I'm not going out of town. I'll
You're
talk to you
not.
about it after.
Oh, then we'll figure something out
Okay.
for sure. If I can, maybe we can rally the other guy, the other kid.
Your son.
Yeah, Ian.
Yeah. Okay, so I really do hesitate to ask, but is there anything else you want to say about fatherhood? I mean, you haven't said anything about it yet, so I really hesitate to ask.
Well, let's put it this way. The role of fathers, aside from providing, which is I've done, perhaps not as good a job as I might have done, okay, is also to inspire and to and to give his children, some ideals and some chutzpah or something.
Have you ever
guts.
thought about this before?
No,
Okay.
I'm winging it.
Classic. classic boomer
Well,
dad.
I'm trying to say it's about an inside job, so whatever. My father. I thought my father was very was not very demonstrative. He was not very emotional or expressive, and yet I look back on him as having a profound effect on my life. So I think fathers do have a profound effect on the lives of their children, which they may or may not realize right now. But of course, as time goes on, you get an appreciation for these things.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, that was beautiful.
It was.
That was approaching coherent, and
I know.
it touched me.
It's-
Listen, everybody, I want you to really enjoy time with your family this weekend. That's it. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. And we love you. We'll see you next week. Thanks for coming, Dad.
I just brought the whole mood down to crashing.
Oh, no, we do
fucking
this every
down.
episode. We always...
Crashing fucking down.
No, we always end like this. We
You
always
should
end
go
in
out
the
soon. You
pits
should
of
retape
despair.
something really strong and bouncy, So you don't, because you don't know.
Okay, fine. New outro. All right. Well, that was a rip-roaring good time, everybody.
There's a cat on the bed beneath the pile of clothes, and the mail train passes by. These things are mine. These things are mine. Smoke's in the chimney, and the big river's froze, and the snow falls from the sky. These things are mine. These things are mine. Living up here in the cold north woods, I feel nearer God to thee. Every breath I take feels so sublime. Standing on my porch, I see all that I need to see. When I've had enough, I close the blinds. I don't know what all this means, but I know it's mine. There's a